So this is what the bands look like. You can see that that band looks a lot different than this band. This band is what we call a lock-on band. And you can see that there's a couple of little tabs that stick out, and one wraps over the other one and crimps down tight so that it cannot reach down and rip the band right off of its leg against each other. This bird, look at that beak.
Yeah.
This bird would be able to reach down and just tear that kind of a band right off. You also know that you don't want to get bitten by a bird like this, wearing this kind of a band, because they've got a strong beak. Now, red-tailed hawks aren't biters, so I'm not really worried about that. I'm more worried about these, because look at those.
Yeah.
Something interesting when you're looking at the talons of these birds is that even though this bird is only about maybe 3 or 4 months old, it already has, a few injuries to its foot, and probably its other foot as well. Sometimes they'll go after things like squirrels and rabbits, and those things bite. They have really good tools. There are some birds that just tend to go after birds, and we don't see nearly as many injuries to their legs as what we see in these birds that go after mammals. That's here in Duluth. We see them regularly around the Duluth area, especially adults. The adults are better at getting food than these immature birds, so they can stay. And you'll see red-tailed hawks, especially kind of down in the harbor area. That's generally where I see most of them. Lots of good stuff to eat down there. Sharp-shinned hawks, they eat things like songbirds, like chickadees, nuthatches, warblers. They have to eat too. So there are some concentrations of birds even around here in the winter. Where would we find big concentrations of birds?
Feeders.
Exactly. Now, it may not be what you intended, but it is still a bird feeder. Red-tailed hawks, we don't really have to worry about that. This is more of, I'm giving my hand a break. But when we have other birds that need to be calmed, what we will do is we'll put them on their back, and then it tends to calm them. Like goshawks, northern goshawks, will scream and scream and scream. And it's just the alarm call. That's what they do. That's their nature, is to be very noisy. And we can put them on their back and they will calm down. But I don't really have to do that with red tails. Yes.
One of the
Say it loud. Okay, so this bird probably weighs around 1,000 grams. So how many pounds is that?
2.5.
This bird right here weighs about maybe 80 grams.
Oh my. Oh my goodness.
So about a quarter-pound cheeseburger.
Is his tongue out? Is he panting?
No, he's not panting. If he was panting, his throat would be going like this. But he's doing that, and also these hackles, because that's an aggressive thing.
Oh, okay.
See how he's making his head look much larger? Okay? And also that open mouth is another aggressive thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Boy, he's checking out this little kid down.
It's a gular flutter, and when they do that, it's oftentimes to bring their temperature down. Yeah, I've never had a bird in the hand do that up here, and I've been here for 11 years.
How did you catch this bird? In the ground nets or in the nets?
Down at our banding station, we have lures, and the birds come down to these lures, and instead of, normally we have what are called mist nets set up, and they're just kind of misty nets that are there to catch birds. It's great for these, not so great for these, because they can destroy one of those mist nets. So instead what we have are what are called bow nets. And it's a big metal hoop that's got net on it, and it's hinged in the middle. It's spring-loaded, so it's cocked back, and then, the lure is right in the center. So when the bird comes down and lands on the lure, it's right there in the center, we know that, and it folds its wings and proceeds to, be focused down here. Then we can trip it, and it will throw the net over the bird. I want any birds to be injured by the research that we're doing, for sure. Great question.
What do you use for the lure?
Our lures look like injured birds because they are birds. They don't actually get eaten. We just use them to lure them in. We're allowed to use things like pigeons. And starlings.
Oh, good. Oh, good. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, having arrived late, what kind of bird is it you're holding?
This is a red-tailed hawk. This is a sharp-shinned hawk. Adopters, did anything? Will have his name associated with this bird in our records. So where is Russ?
He's right here.
Throw it up. Okay, up is your goal, not out. And but Eric's gonna take your picture.
And where is Eric?
There he is. So turn around, to the top step, and then turn around. And maybe move over here so you don't have. Look back.
You're next up to thing there, little one. We live on the street.
One, two, three. One,
Oh, is this yours?
Okay, so I'm gonna have Russ turn around, and we're gonna see how high he can throw.
I was an athlete. My shoulders
Granny
are gone.
shot.
My shoulders are gone.
Up into the air. Now we're gonna count for Russ, and I'm gonna get out of the way. Ready, everybody? 1, 2, 3.
Ja, ik weiß nicht.
All right. Yeah, let's get up there. Excuse us, we're gonna. Oh, here he comes back.
It's very pale.
There's around.
Oh, I'm sorry. You weren't talking to me. Now I gotta go pay for that.
I can put this on my website.
Be a better picture. Is he full grown in size or is he still immature? Yes. Okay.
I get a really good one.
Okay. All right. So now we're gonna do. We're gonna have you turn this way, and we're gonna have you hold that chin up nice and high, like the Statue of Liberty. And we're all gonna count to 3. And at 3, I'm gonna have you just kind of give them a little toss and open your hand at the same time. All right. All right. So I'll step back here, and everyone count with me. 1, 2, 3. There he goes. You can see this one.
Does anyone know what type of birds we have here? And are they the same? Any ideas? Sharpshin. Yeah, we have 2. They are different ages. Does anyone have any idea which one is older?
Yours.
Mine is. What gave you that clue?
The eyes.
Eye color, very good. You can see the one over here. The eyes are more orange. It's not an immature. It is a second year. This one with the red rusty eyes is an after second year. So we call it an adult. Once they get these eyes, it's hard to tell exactly how old it is. So we call it an after second year. We can also look at the patterns that it has on the breast feathers. You can see when they are an immature, that pattern, that white, is usually running vertical. And now you can see that it shifts, and then now that white pattern is running more horizontally. And these sharp-shinned hawks.
Oh, and the feather.
Oh, yes. And this one is in molt, so it's getting rid of the rest of its immature feathers. So Caitlin's gonna come around and show you.
Yeah, I'll kind of point out there's one feather kind of by my thumb that has a brown tip. All right? So look for that. Do you see that feather there? Keep your hands away from his beak. That little bit of brown tip, that's something that the banders are going to look for until they can find something that gives them a clue. Do you see kind of by my thumb, that brown tipped feather? That indicates that this bird doesn't have every single one of its feathers molted into the adult form. Isn't that beautiful? This doesn't bother the bird. So, yeah.
The one is red and the other is golden.
Excellent. Good question.
Yeah.
And what, any idea? Age. Yes. Age.
Age.
So you might have seen a sharp-shinned hawk when they had one in the hand that had a kind of a lemon yellow eye. Lemon yellow, that's a hatch-year bird. Here we've got this kind of orangey yellow. Second-year bird and red after second year. So after that, we can't tell.
Can you tell if they're male or female just by looking at them?
Yes, we can. With the accipiters, the females are always going to be larger. The males, you are probably maybe just not quite half this size, but they are significantly smaller. And that's so the females are larger than their largest young. So when they're feeding, they're not being mistaken for food.
Not gonna happen. Males, sometimes they'll do like basically a flyover and drop food into the nest, or they'll call the female, and the female will go pick up the food from the male and go back to feed the young. Whew, that'd be a lot of teenage boys that are bigger than you. It doesn't sound like a good situation. Teenage girls that are even bigger too.
Are these birds going to continue to migrate, or have they been injured?
No.
Why you haven't? No.
No, they haven't been injured. They've been captured to ban them so we can do research on them, and we hold them for a very short time, and then they're on their way again.
They're banned. Let go of your tail, are you? I'm not gonna try to tear that out, but you can see the band that it has here. Every band has a unique number, kind of like our social security numbers that we have. They all are unique, so no bird will ever have the same number. So if this bird is ever captured again, we would then send you information about that bird once it's captured. So you would also get that information. So in a way, this bird you'd have all that information about it. No one sent anything. So if anyone,
We got one?
we got two.
We got two?
All right.
Oh, these are survivors.
Yes.
The raptors, their mortality rate in the first year of life is 80%. These have both migrated.
First time.
Okay.
He didn't get it up high enough.
Yeah, don't worry about stepping toes. Just throw that in. Okay.
Because we'll let this one go first, and then
Like that. All right. And then Margaret's gonna take a few pictures.
That's ours right there. That's ours. He likes him or her.
You're gonna kind of hold it like the Statue of Liberty. There you go. Pull it out, and then we're gonna count to 3, and then just kind of give it a little push. All right, we're gonna do count up on 3. 1, 2, 3. Woo! All right.
No. Been a different raptor.
you're going to be coming
Presentation. But I'm actually
Well, now you can add that to your list.
Yeah.
You just keep your fingers away, and I'll get that. You can touch them right here.
Feathers are beautifully good, aren't they? Aren't they smooth and soft?
So if you hold it kind of close to you, a little closer, like this, there. And then look here, and Margie will get a picture. I'm gonna count to 3, 1, 2, 3, and you'll push it out. But wait till Margie says she's ready. Okay, go ahead. 1, 2, 3. Woo! All right. And then Rudy.